Hi folks, this is your MWIS Planning Outlook with our latest details through to the weekend and beyond. There is some colder weather on the way later this week, but also some very wet conditions as well before that. And I just want to draw your attention to England and Wales in particular. This then just running through the accumulation, starting off from what's falling during Tuesday, and that's already by the end of Tuesday adding up the best part of an inch of rain, 25 mil or so across the Brecon Beacons. And as we head onwards through Wednesday, another pulse of heavy rain coming up from the south will add further totals there and bring concerns for flooding across Wales onwards through late Wednesday into Thursday. Some rain pretty widely elsewhere as well, but totals will continue to build up, and another slow-moving frontal system will bring some high rainfall into Friday. I just want to roll that through Friday daytime. You can see how the values really accumulate there through late Friday on into Saturday, with total accumulations over this next 4 or 5 day spell going in excess of 100 millimetres of rain, even on this quite coarse resolution forecast model across the Brecon Beacons, and that could well mean that some of the upslopes will see considerably more. So significant flooding concerns, especially across Wales, in the days ahead. It's quite a complicated weather situation we have right now. Areas of low pressure circulating around slowly, bringing the areas of rain. We've got some mild air coming up from the south across England and Wales, and some chillier air knocking on the door of northern Scotland through into Wednesday daytime. Remnants of a frontal zone across the northern parts of the Highlands, giving some persistent and more frequent heavier rain at times across the northern Highlands. Some showers further south across the Highlands, and drier across the southern uplands, Lake District and much of the Pennines through Wednesday. Some low cloud around the hills in the west, maybe just thick enough to produce an odd drizzly shower. Across Wales, though, that rain is setting in heavier from the south, pushing further northwards across Wales, reaching the Peak District as well through Wednesday afternoon, and that will continue into the evening and the night. Showery conditions developing from the north across the Highlands, turning increasingly to snow across the Munros in northern areas as chillier air does then arrive. As we head towards dusk on Wednesday evening, that freezing level already coming down towards 800 metres across the northern parts of the Highlands, and that will drop quite quickly elsewhere across the Highlands through the night towards around 700 or 800 metres, and some indications here may even drop that lower towards dawn on Thursday. I think a broad zone generally in that sort of 700 to 900 metre range is to be typical through Thursday daytime, and that will be similar in the days forwards too. England and Wales at this stage still very much in mild air, and that will stay the same pretty much into Friday, although the tops in the Lake District and North Pennines just nudging closer to freezing point as that level begins to sink further southwards. Where skies are clear across the Highlands into Friday morning, could even be some frost into the valleys and the glens. That's here shown by the freezing level dropping right towards the lowest of slopes. For Friday daytime, it's around 600 to 800 metres you'd expect to find a freezing point across the Scottish mountains, and for England and Wales, we're dipping towards 800 metres across those higher tops here. Colder air is then still generally focused across the northern half of Britain through into the weekend, trying to get back further south into Wales, but I think just holding on to some milder air here, and we're still around 800 metres on Saturday for the Highlands. A frost likely by Saturday night into Sunday as well, and Sunday daytime maybe just has a brief lift slightly higher up, but I think that will come back down again from the north across the Highlands. So we're looking at the higher terrain again in that 800 to 1000 metre level as being your expected freezing level, and that just nudging down to the tops in England and Wales as well, again through Sunday daytime. There is scope then to put some snow on the ground across the Scottish mountains. This chart showing a couple of centimetres or so. It might just be a bit overdone in terms of the extent of precipitation, but I think the higher tops getting at least a dusting through the later part of this week across Scotland, and some further showers that develop may just give some added top-ups to that. But we're not talking depths of winter stuff at this stage in terms of temperature really, or snow cover, but at least a start to something a bit more wintry across the mountains. Wind chill values will become more significant though as strong to gale force easterlies prevail over a few days later this week. Across Scotland on Thursday, the remnants of a front is still around, and that generally focused across more southern regions, with rain fairly persistent over the southern uplands, some snow into the southern parts of the Highlands early in the day, tending to fizzle out as that front sinks back southwards. Some showers then with snow coming in across more northern mountains in the far north and into the Cairngorms as well, And we may just hang on to some rain around Loch Lomond to Arran through the afternoon. Patchy rain across northern England too, the previous rain having fizzled out for a while across Wales, but that will pep up again through Thursday night into Friday. Strong easterlies then continue and gale force winds across many mountains into Friday, particularly from southern Scotland southwards, not quite as strong further north at this time, but still a significant chill factor and exposure across higher terrain. There's the heavy rain then across Wales through this time. A really slow moving heavy band of rain is expected to persist over a day or so here, so that's where the rain really mounting up. You can see the close proximity of the isobars as well, and that just squeezing further northwards into Scotland. So through Friday and into early Saturday, that easterly will be quite significant and very gusty too, downslope toward the western side of the major hill groups. That rain band is expected to hang around and only just slowly fade out into Saturday daytime over northern England and Wales. All the while, Scotland is comparatively drier, a few snow flurries maybe just coming in from the east on that wind. Further west, generally brighter with some cloud breaks towards higher slopes. Still a windy day, the peak of those speeds maybe just dropping down as we head further through Saturday daytime, as higher pressure is just expanding in a little bit from the north. What's left of that front still giving some frequent rain, if not quite as heavy, across the Peak District and Pennines through Saturday daytime. Onwards into Saturday night and Sunday, and just with a slight reorientation of the pressure pattern, the wind flow turns more northerly across Scotland. Could just be a band of showers coming down from the north. A brighter, drier picture over England and Wales, one or two local showers, and feeling chilly in that north-northeasterly wind. The big picture looks like this by Sunday, with our previous area of low pressure having pulled away southwards and high pressure toward the west-northwest, allowing that northerly airstream to be in, and that will be in for a few days, it looks like, into early next week. So showers draped around the coast in the east, west and far north, generally falling as some snow over the mountains. Could be a bit of hail mixed in just occasionally as well. Some clearer conditions down the spine of the country from central Scotland southwards down the Pennines through the Lake District as well. Feeling chilly all the while though with that strong northerly wind in the forecast. There will be some uncertainty just exactly how the pressure pattern pans out into around late Monday, Tuesday, as this model indication just tries to develop a little spin-up area of low pressure out toward the west. The high that was there hasn't really held sway in terms of dominating the pattern, so it's still a bit of a messy mixture of weather situations into the middle of the week, with lower pressure, areas of showers, some more organised zones of rain and hill snow could well be in the forecast. Broadly, we stay on the colder side of the weather patterns. Brief lifts of freezing level I think would soon come back down again within that air mass, so some scope to put some snow onto the mountains, but detail of the forecast, it must be said, into the middle of next week is quite complicated. It doesn't really look now as though we're getting a genuine build of higher pressure. We still seem to be trying to spin up, on this model at least, some areas of lower pressure for staying rather unsettled, unfortunately. Much to play for with that story, it must be said, through next week. Generally, the colder north-northwesterly is the more confident part of the forecast, at least in the early part of the week. How soon any low pressure to the west gets in is much more uncertain. So the forecast for the middle of next week does need watching very carefully. Things could just evolve slightly differently yet, so watch for the latest on that one. Further forwards, and the models seem to be having more of an idea of lower pressure still on the scene, and maybe just, if anything, trying to pull things back more of a westerly regime. So at the moment at least, forecast modelling is not looking as though higher pressure is trying to develop for too long at this time. So some rather unsettled patterns, I still think on the cooler side, although this might just try and tip things back around to being a bit more changeable, a bit milder at times by the end of the month. Things to watch though, must be said, in the medium to longer range. Some early season wintriness is about as good as we're going to do, I think, in the next week or so. Keep an eye on your local details then on all our forecasts across the MWIS website. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.